Hi, good morning. Today in this video, we are going to learn JWT, that is JSON Web Token from base and in depth, and followed by a demo how we can create JWT, how we can use a token to authenticate to an API. So basically, JWT is used. If you see here on my screen, it is in this format. JWT is something which contains header, payload, and signature, right? In this format. We will also see in demo how to decode these values. So this is used for JWT is used for authentication, properly exchanging the information securely for SSO, API security, and microservices communication. And many applications use JWT such as Angular, Django, Spring Boot, and all. So how it actually works? So let's say once user attempts to log in, right, with any username and password, server authenticates user, verifies the credential, and then server generates the JWT token, right? That token contains header, payload, and signature. And payload claims are that is user's information, right? So that is a complete token. Once token is created by server, it moves to the fourth stage, that is it sends to the client. It can be through an app, or it can be through code, or it can be on the browser itself, right? Client then stores that this token. Now in every request following request, client has to send this token in header or in the any particular request. Okay, and then that token is again validated by server properly, and once the server is validated, it provides you the relevant data, and the access is granted. And if the token is invalid, then the request is invalid or expired, right? So as I told you, JWT structure is header that contains token. What type of token it has? A signature algorithm which is used, right? Payload is user's information. Signature is again, it's a combination of header and payload, and then on top of that we have a secret key stored on the server, which actually completely combines these two and then create a signature, right? And claims, what I mentioned here, users information could be name, email, role, when this token was issued, who issued it, and so on, right? And the type of tokens are access token that is generated, refresh token, let's say if you want for longer duration, and ID token, it's a OIDC authentication more mechanism which uses that, right? Here we will just discuss access token. Now, I will show you the demo how to create web token, JSON web token, and then how to utilize that token to connect to an app, right? So let me show you my code. I have to build two Python codes here. So the first one is a logical code here. JWT underscore auth.py file contains the logic, right? How the tokens are generated and validated. So if you see here, I am generating a JWT token. Okay, it requires username and password, because in general scenario you might go on particular website, you might enter Google password, username password, or normal username password, then server generates JWT and sends you. But as we are doing this demo locally on this particular machine on Flask, considering Flask as the server, we are just randomly giving username and password ourselves, right? So we are passing the username and password, and then it generates a token for that particular user, okay, using secret key. And secret key here is the secret key, and we are using this algorithm to generate our token. Okay, this particular token will be generated using this secret key and this algorithm, and username, password, role, expiration date, everything. Okay, so this is first function. Second function is to verify token. Once the server generates the token, it sends to the client, right? When client sends that token in the request, okay, again the server verifies the token, right? So this is a function of verification, how token is getting verified properly. Okay, right. Now this was the logical functions. Now I have another file, this one. So these are the endpoints, Flask endpoints, where we will create the token and verify all these things we will do on these particular endpoints just for local testing. So this auth hyphen login, let's say if a user logins using username and password, okay, here I am providing username and password. Once user is able to properly login, right, the token is generated, and then you will see JWT generated successfully, Okay, and this will expire, and this is for 30 minutes duration. And if username and password is correct, is incorrect, then the token is not generated, right? Now to validate whether the token is generated properly or not, I have also created another endpoint, auth JWT profile. Okay, so this will, we will send it in the request. This particular endpoint, we will hit this endpoint and pass the proper token, which got generated in the previous function. That token we will add it in the request using get method, and the server will verify the token. If those tokens matches, that's okay. Otherwise, you will see invalid or expired JWT. All right. Now, to test this particular JWT function and endpoints, I have another script, a small script created. And let me go through this script. This is very easy script. We are running the server basically because we don't have any Google server or any particular website to test. So that's why we are testing on the Flask. So this is my server. This is Flask, which is already running. This is curl command to test a curl command on the post method. We are hitting this endpoint, login endpoint, and we are passing this username Sam and password 123, which I have already stored in my Python in memory here. I have one database file here. I have stored Sam password 123. Okay, this is my database. This is Python's in memory. We don't have any database. This is stored here in this file only, right? Now, if I show you here this script, this username password, we are passing it as in the header itself, right? As a in the request, curl request. Once this username and password is authenticated on this particular endpoint, then the token is generated. First is clear. Okay. Second, when we run the curl command, let's say using wrong password, then the token is not generated. Correct. Let's say now if once the token is generated, if we want to test whether token is generated, let's say by hitting any URL, so we will run a query, I mean that curl command with proper authentication bearer token. We will provide the token here and we will go on this endpoint to verify our token. So if token matches, then we will see a proper response. If we are sending the invalid token, let's say if I have added 123 ABC 123 token here, which is invalid because our token is not this, so it will show error. Same way, if we don't pass any token in this particular endpoint, again we will see error. Okay, and so if we are passing something wrong again in the token, then also we will see the invalid message. All right, so now we will run this script. Okay, our script ran successfully. Now you will understand in a better way what these commands are doing. So if you see here this JW authentication test, so this token is generated by first command. This curl command on the post request, when we pass the correct username and password, it generated the JWT token here. This is the token which I will save. And I'll show you by decoding also later on, right? This token. Now in the second command, if you see here, I'm passing the wrong password. So it says use invalid username or password. Now if I am putting in the correct username and password, it shows me JWT authentication successful, right? Now in the next, if I'm again passing the invalid token, it says invalid or expired JWT. And if I'm not passing anything in the token, no headers in this particular curl command, right? So it says authentication header is required. And again, if I am putting the right information, I get the successful information as the response. At the end, if I am just again using the wrong password, right? Again, it shows invalid or expired JWT. Clear, right? So far, so good. Now, let me also show you how you can decode that. So let me just paste the token that got generated. This is jwt.io. This is free website. You can also go. This will decode the token. So this is my token. If you see here, this is what I copied, whatever token got generated. And if you will see here, if you will focus here, you will see two dots. This is the first one. After dot, you will see another one, this one. So it has three components, right? As I mentioned earlier, header. Okay. This first one is header. If you see here, the first one is header, second is payload claims, third is signature. So this is our payload, users information. This is a signature. Now again, if I go back here, if I copy this, I copied here my token. So if you see here, the first part shows this is the type JWT. This is the algorithm which we used. If you see here in our code also, we used this one, this particular algorithm HS256 that you will see here. Now if I decode my second one, this one, right? This is what it is, claim. So it gives me Sam admin as the role and what is the expiration date, right? This is what you see on my screen also here when the token got generated. Admin Sam, right? Okay. Also, one thing if you notice here, this JWT shows valid JWT, correct? Because we have pasted the right JWT. But here, if you see on the right side, it says signature verification failed. So let's say if I copy my this secret, right? And if I paste it here in the secret, now it says valid JWT, signature verified, valid secret. That means my secret is verified. So overall in this demo, I showed what is JWT, that is for authenticating users on modern web applications, right? And here you don't need to go to database. Every JWT token does not go to database every time. It just validates on the fly. This is a sessionless component, and it passes the token in the client's browser or application, and then user can properly send the token back, and then they are properly retrieving the information. Thank you.